Welcome to the Happy, Healthy Life Podcast with your hosts, Rob and Randy, who reveal the truth, the lies, and confusion about health so that you are no longer the victim to mainstream medical dogma and you are the hero to your own happy, healthy story.
Good morning and welcome to the Happy, Healthy Life Podcast. I guess it could be morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time that you're listening to the podcast. But
we do have listeners all over the world, which is very awesome. So yeah, happy, healthy Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm Rob.
I'm Randy.
And we are the Happy, Healthy Guys. So let's get this party started. On the last episode that we did, we were doing a Q&A segment where we're answering questions. We got so many questions. I think we only got through a couple of them because the questions were really good. So we're going to start answering questions today like, what's a healthy amount of weight that you should lose?
Hang on. No, I'm just laughing because we're also very long-winded. And you know how they say not to make a long story short?
Oh, we're great at making long stories longer.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. And this is a prime example right there. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Okay, so first question here is, how much weight can I expect to lose per week? So this is a good question for people that are interested in doing our program and or people who are doing any kind of weight loss. They, always want to know, how much can I lose? And the reason that they ask the question is because our friends at the FTC have put out guidelines when it comes to losing weight, which is what they say is the safe amount to lose. And what they say is that the safe amount to lose is 2 to 3 pounds per week. And so where they got that number, I have no idea because there's not any kind of scientific backing that actually backs those numbers right there. And so I think what may have happened a long time ago is you had different weight loss companies that were making claims where they might say something like you can lose 50 pounds in a week or something crazy like that. So they had to put some guidelines so that people weren't being confused as to how much they could or could not lose. That would be my assumption. I don't know that to be fact, but that sounds like that's probably what the deal is.
Or maybe let me propose this. Maybe the founders or the people that were involved in the FTC, maybe they owned a bunch of weight loss franchises and they weren't very good at what they did.
Yeah.
And so they created criteria around how bad their program was. I don't know, but not to interrupt, but how much weight can I lose? Really, that's probably not the best question because losing weight versus losing body fat are two completely different phenomenons. Most dieting and programs where you're restricting calories for the rest of your life, eating prepackaged food, having to live in the gym, you're burning away and losing lots of muscle. You're losing water weight. Who's ever thought, yeah, I just lost water weight? Well, you probably did if you just cut your calories and you didn't know how to replace those calories with real food nutrients and then obviously support your body with the proper trace minerals. So losing weight and losing fat are two different concepts. If you're losing muscle, if you're losing water, if you're losing normal areas of fat, that would be dangerous to lose more than a couple, 3 pounds a week. But we just got a note here from Kim. She says I lost 10 pounds in 1 week. I don't know, Kim, you tell me, do you think that was making you sicker or making you healthier? So there you go. It's like, no, because I can promise you, and we've got the bioimpedance assessments to back this up. You can see it. You're not dropping water. In fact, usually what happens over the course of a program like ours, you're increasing hydration. You're actually absorbing more water. You're getting water out of the extracellular water and getting it into intracellular, getting water into the tissue, which is one of the best ways to rev up your metabolism and continue to burn tons of body fat.
Yeah, and you got to also take into account that everybody's going to be different as well.
That's true.
Okay, so you don't know what's going on with somebody's hormones, how much healing and repair needs to happen with that. If there's a lot of healing and repair that needs to happen with that, it could take a little bit longer. Also, the size of the person. So, in years past, we had one of the former members of the Dallas Cowboys, And so he had like 175 pounds of muscle on his body.
No.
So was it more than that? So, so
he had like 230 or
So-
240 pounds of muscle. Yeah, most people ever seen.
Yeah, so you take somebody that's got 230 pounds of muscle, who's this guy 6'5", 6'6",
Mhm.
and then you take a female who is 5'4" and 140 pounds and has 95 pounds of muscle. They're going to lose weight at different paces, at different rates. He's going to lose a lot more weight than she's going to lose. So where she may only lose 8 to 10 pounds over the course of their first week, even in program, because that's very common. He may lose 20 pounds. So it really just, there's so much human variability and uniqueness for every single person. So to say across the board that the safe amount of weight to lose is only 2 to 3 pounds per week, that right there is really a false statement, because they're not taking into account human variability. Everybody is going to be different. Just know this: if you're listening and you're wondering about any programs, the reality is this: is everybody loses weight at different rates. There's too many variables, which is why you want to make sure that you're doing some kind of program that's customized and specific to you, so that you can make sure that you're losing the weight that you are supposed to be using. And like Randy just said, when we're looking at the bioimpedance and we're looking at the muscle, we're looking at the water, we're looking at what is happening inside the body from inside out. We're not losing weight just to lose weight, because I guarantee you, if you want to lose weight, just don't eat today. Tomorrow, you're probably going to be lighter than you were today. That doesn't mean you have a healthier metabolism, because the likelihood of you actually keeping that weight off is slim to none. You'll eat again tomorrow and gain all the way back.
Yeah. You want to target body fat, specifically the visceral fat, which is what we're able to do. A lot of you saw your numbers drop dramatically. But it all goes back to, a really bad question is to ask, how do I lose weight? Don't ask that question. Ask the question, how do I heal my metabolism? Because when you're focused on healing your metabolism and creating an environment where metabolic healing can take place, you don't even have to worry about the weight. Because everything's going to begin to do what it needs to do, and you can't account for total weight loss just on a scaled number because of the improvement in hydration, loss of visceral fat, improvement in skeletal mass. So all those things, you don't get a full picture of that. Focus on healing your metabolic profile. Let your body do what it needs to do. Why could one person do our program and lose? I think that NFL we can't mention his name, can we? Probably can't.
No.
But I want to. But I think he lost, I want to say, didn't he lose over 70 pounds?
He's like 75 pounds.
75 pounds in 5 weeks. Of course, he was 400 pounds and he had 230 pounds of muscle. He had the ability to burn over 10,000 calories a day. Why would he lose 75 pounds on our metabolism program, yet somebody who does our metabolism program who's maybe 115 and they want to improve their metabolic health and they drop 7 pounds? We were both focused on healing their metabolism. One drops 75, one drops 7, because we weren't trying to get them to lose weight. The goal is always, it's never to lose weight. It's to work on getting healthy. You never want to lose weight to get healthy. You want to get healthy and then let your body do what it needs to do. Hopefully that makes sense.
This is great. Lori said, I went from a size 14 pants to size 6 and an XL shirt to size medium. So much subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. Bye-bye. I feel so much healthier and better. So that's common. So that brings us with what it is that you were just saying to the next question. The next question, this is a huge one. And this is just asking a bad question. And here's the question. It says, how many calories should I eat per day to lose weight? So that's somebody that's coming from the mindset and a background of calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
And that's what we've all been taught. So it's not their fault. That's just what it is that we've been taught, right? The fewer calories you eat, the more weight that you're going to lose. The more you exercise, the more weight you're going to lose. Again, everybody is different. If your body hasn't been trained to be able to burn fat for fuel and it's just burning carbohydrates for fuel, it's going to be different. And the other thing to take into consideration when you look at the science behind this is all calories are not created equal. Okay. So if you're eating 1,500 calories and it's all sugar calories, it's going to be a lot different than eating 1,500 calories that are coming from good fat sources. Completely different. Or you take processed foods, for example, calories coming from processed flour, processed grains, processed, all of that stuff is going to be different, and the effect is going to be different on the body than if you're eating real foods, which is what it is that we tell people.
No, you're right. Yeah, the Chico phenomenon, the calories in, the calories out, we know that's flawed. And a lot of the studies that are done is called nutritionism, where you take macronutrients like protein, fat, carbohydrates, and you compare two groups, and you act like all carbohydrates are the same, all protein is the same, or all fats are the same. Well, we clearly know that. You put one group and give them seed oil, and you give the other group and you give them animal fats. They're both fats, both same amount of calories, yet completely different how they respond in the human body. Same thing if you took processed protein powder versus real food nutrition, like some type of a ruminant animal, like a grass-fed beef, both maybe 30, 40 grams of protein, completely different way the body reacts. And we even talked about this, I believe, in one of the past episodes. You know, a steak has about 42,000 different components to it. Think about that. How amazing is God, what he made? You can't even quantify. A steak has about 42,000 different components with it versus a protein powder, which has been processed and created to mimic what God already made. There's no way it has those same components. You know, it's not getting sunlight. It's not taking grass and then biohydrogenating that grass to make proper fats and proper proteins like a cow does. A cow can take grass that we shouldn't be eating, can now turn it into magic food for us by breaking down the cellulose, going through multi-chambered stomachs, you know, getting all the nutrients from the soil. There's just so many variables that take place. You just can't trick God and you can't cheat nature. I'll give you another example. This kind of a little bit off topic, but I think it'll make a point. Is I remember one of my home I had back when I lived in Texarkana, Texas. We had this amazing pool that we had built, and I was just, as a kid, I remember going over to my friend's house who had this amazing pool, and I used to love to go over there. So I like, you know, when I get my own house one day, I'm going to have this amazing pool. So we built this incredible pool, and we started noticing that barn swallows, these birds, were coming in and setting up shop where our pool is. If you know what a barn swallow is, they'll build like nests on the side of your house. They'll swoop down in on you and go and get water. And they're they show up where water is, just like nature would probably indicate. You go to where water is, you see birds, you see certain animals. So we had these barn swallows that were taking over. And so I got a really smart idea. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a fake owl and fake snakes and set them out all over by the pool and set the owl up by the pool. Not good too if you forget you put a fake snake out and you take a step out and you see it, you jump out of your pants. So not good. But what happened is over about a week or two, all the barn swallows, they went away. Here's the problem. Now, guess what we started seeing at my pool? Spiders everywhere because the barn swallows were eating the insects and the bugs. We got rid of the barn swallows, and now we're being taken over by spiders. And I'm thinking, I'd rather have the barn swallows than the spiders everywhere. The point is, you can't trick nature. You can't manipulate it and make it better. Everything has a certain sequence, the ecosystem, the way God works, the way nature works. Our bodies really are the same way. You can't trick the human body, not for long. When you start using fake food or try and manipulate macronutrients, you're not going to get away with it because your body's not going to do that. It just doesn't work that way. Hopefully that makes sense. You just can't trick the body.
No, you can't, which is one of the reasons why we talk a lot, especially now in the world of biohacking. That's the big That's the big thing right now is biohack this, biohack your metabolism. The reality is this is anything that you would biohack would be temporary.
Yeah.
And when you even look at the word biohack, it's interesting because biology, which is where bio comes from, bio means life. Okay. So life is a lot more complicated than trying to hack it into little bits, pieces, and parts. You got to look at the whole thing holistically, which is why we don't believe in biohacking your health. We believe in creating an environment where life is going to happen inside the body. So you've
Yes.
got to look at everything put together, not in just little bits and pieces, or you have like what happened with the barn swallows and the spiders. Yeah, you can't you
Yeah.
can't rob Peter to pay
Uh-uh.
Paul.
Yeah. Good point.
So the next question then is this: is it better to focus on diet or exercise for weight loss? And this and there's a gym right around the corner from here, and it is packed all the time. And you see people at the gym, and this is the mindset is that if I work out a lot, then I can eat more and or eat whatever it is that I want. But here's the thing. If exercise and exercising great, that would be like taking one step forward, and then a poor diet and poor nutrition would be taking two steps back. So it's not even a zero-sum game, it's a negative-sum game when you're not actually focused on and intentional with what it is that you're putting into your body, which is why we always talk about simply eating real food. You're not going to get away with it for long if you're that workout warrior just exercising all the time in order to get healthier. And the reality is that you could be exercising too much and it could actually have a negative effect on your metabolism rather than a positive effect. So if you were going to focus on one or the other, I would say focus more on the nutrition. Now, exercise is great. Exercise every day. In fact, I exercised 3 times yesterday because it's great for reducing stress. It's great for the cells in your body. However, I also was intentional about what it is that I was putting into my body. And in doing that, I was on a 24-hour fast. If you listen to us, you know that most weeks I'll do a 24-hour fast from Sunday going into Monday. And that's exactly what it is that I did. Exercised 3 times, had no issues with it because my body is burning fat for fuel the way it's supposed to. So I had the energy coming from the fat that my body needed in order to be able to get me through those workouts.
No, well said. I would even go a little deeper here, the mindset behind that. Remember that diet and exercise really have nothing to do with what you weigh. In fact, they're probably the 2 worst strategies that you could use to lose weight and keep it off. So hang in here with me. Diet and exercise are not for weight loss.
Nope.
They're for your health. They're for your health. You should eat right because giving your body real food, nutrient-dense, bioavailable nutrition is non-negotiable. You can't give your body fake food and get away with it very long. The Chico phenomenon, calories in, calories out, we just talked about it. Stop counting calories, start counting nutrients. So eating right is important, but it's not for weight loss, it's for your health. And exercise is the same thing. Exercise is not for weight loss. You're using it inappropriately if that's why you exercise. And you will hit a wall, and you said it. Probably the number one thing you should probably do if you're severely overweight and are struggling is stop exercising. Your cortisol is probably way too high because you've been addicted to diets and low carb and fasting. You're nutrient deficient, and you've got too high level of cortisol from way too much exercise. So you probably need to back off from all the workouts, stop using it to lose weight, use it for the benefits that it's for. It's for your health. You know, it does reduce stress. I worked out twice yesterday just because I love being outside on a beautiful day and going for a walk. I love that so much. So healing. Get sun on your face, get sun on your eyes, get your body moving, doing that low intensity, that zone 2, where you could walk and be not out of breath, where you could easily have a conversation. That way you're not elevating your heart rate too high. That way you continue to use fat for fuel versus going high intensity when now your body's going to require glucose. So staying in that low intensity state, that zone 2 is what they call it. But yeah, exercise is great for reducing stress, increasing blood supply and circulation. There's so many benefits to exercise. So I would just say, if you are overweight and struggling with your weight, or have lost the weight and you think the way to keep it off is to go back to cutting calories and living in the gym, you're going to hit a wall and it's going to make you worse. use nutrition and exercise for your health. Don't use it for weight loss. It's the wrong strategy.
Yeah, and even going, I'm glad you said that and mentioned even the stress component to it, because you could have two people eating the exact same thing. Let's say both people consumed 1,500 calories. You have one of those two people is stressed out of their mind. Maybe they've got financial stress, relationship stress, busyness stress, all these different things going on. That person is not going to lose weight the same as the other person is, because what happens when your body is stressed like that, you go into fight or flight. Cortisol levels go through the roof. And what cortisol's job is, it's going to take any of the calories that came in and it's going to store that. And it's typically going to store it as body fat because it's thinking it's going to need that energy to be able to fight whatever this battle is that you have going on. That's why people who have chronic stress, it's harder for them to lose weight than it is for somebody who does not, which is why then again, that exercise like walking after meals, decreasing your stress is so beneficial for helping you to be burning the calories by reducing those cortisol levels. And so that's how life right there goes. It all goes together.
Yeah.
Right?
And how many calories are in being late on your mortgage? There aren't any calories, but you're stressed out. How many calories are going through a divorce? There are no calories. So it does impact your stress, and high cortisol will ruin you in the long haul. You'll never overcome it until you get your body right, which is why a lot of you've been chronically dieting for so many years and so much fasting. You've elevated your cortisol levels. You become almost physiologically insulin resistant, where now your liver and your muscle, they don't take up glucose very well. So you're like, I'm fat adapted. I can eat fat and not gain weight and be on a low calorie, eat small feeding windows. Yeah, you eat one banana and you put on 5 pounds because you're not carb adapted, because you've been in such a high stress state. It's like people that are in famine, they start holding on to everything because it's like, if you don't have access to food, where are you going to get your energy? Well, you're probably stored it in body fat. So you don't want to become this fat storage machine where you're literally living on a low carb, small feeding window for the rest of your life. Fasting is really a hormetic type of a stress that you can do every so often to help maybe give your body a break, give the digestive tract a break. There's so many benefits to fasting, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. But if you're living that way and you're not eating very much, and you're always in this chronically high stress state, feeling like you got to go to the gym every day, you're not a good person, that is going to wreck your overall weight loss goals and your overall health. So the goal isn't to be skinny. The goal is to be vibrant and healthy and have a strong metabolism. That needs to be the focus. So just don't, the reason I said that is we've had these conversations with too many of you and too many people that we've consulted over the years. You go through our program, you get this incredible result, and then you go right back into going, I got to diet, I got to exercise, I can't eat. If I eat, I'll get big. It is not true. If you don't count calories and you just start counting nutrients, you'll never, ever have to worry about it ever again once you've healed your metabolic profile.
Correct. Well said. All right. You've got a question over there.
Yeah,
let's hear that one. We probably have time for this one question. Speaking of us being a little long-winded sometimes, but let's get this one in and then we'll get to our group.
All right. It says here, okay, I have stopped eating seed oils and I replaced them all with animal fats. My last blood work from my doctor shows that my cholesterol is now higher. And then my LDL specifically is very high. My doctor said I need to start taking a statin. I don't want to take drugs. What is going on here? Interesting question, right? So thank you for this question, number one. And number two is let's take this head on, because clearly, chemically forcing your lipid panel down with a drug doesn't make you healthier. Just like forcing blood pressure down with a drug or a chemical doesn't make you healthier. Forcing your blood sugar down with the drug doesn't make you healthier. Your body's always doing the right thing under the circumstances. Remember that. Don't ever doubt that. Your body is hardwired to heal. It's never trying to kill you. It's always trying to heal you. So to address the LDL component, because the answer is, yeah, if you stop eating seed oil and you start eating animal-based with more saturated fat like grass-fed butter, SCT oil, our favorite, organ meats, tallow, all the animal fats, your LDL will go up. That's a fact. You start reducing your seed oil, you eat more animal fat, your LDL is going to go up. Well, just because your LDL goes up doesn't mean that you're not still healthy, if not healthier. And I'll tell you why. When you eat saturated fat, which is the fats that you find in animal fats, like you said, grass-fed butter, tallow, SCT oil, what'll happen is saturated fats stabilize your lipid membranes of all the cells in your body. So cholesterol isn't needed as much in your cell membranes. So now cholesterol gets the freedom to roam and get into your bloodstream and go help and assist wherever your body needs it, because cholesterol isn't dangerous. It's actually part of the healing process. Your body makes it, and LDL is what carries. It's the low density lipoproteins that carry cholesterol to the body where it's needed. So if your cells are stable because you're eating lots of good saturated fat, it's going to go up in your bloodstream, which is why if you start eating a bunch of seed oil and you stop eating saturated fat, now your body has to start dumping tons of LDL cholesterol into the cell membranes to save the cell. So the blood levels come down, but the intracellular LDL goes up because you're stabilizing the cell membrane. This is why just looking at a lipid panel and saying LDL is high or low tells you anything about your health. What you want to look at, more importantly, is what's called ApoB and LP little a. ApoB is an LDL marker, all right? If it's high, that's fine. What you don't want to see high is your LP little a. That's a marker for oxidized cholesterol. And guess what you get? High levels of oxidized cholesterol. Seed oil. Okay, seed oil raises your LP little a and it lowers your ApoB. So it's a complete dog and pony show, complete trickery here by the medical industry to tell you, hey, see, your LDL is high. You need to get on a statin, stop eating red meat, stop eating saturated fats. That butter's killing you, just like it killed my great grandmother at 100 years old. Give me a break with that nonsense. We were churning butter 100 years ago. We weren't pressing seeds for oils using petroleum-based hexane. You can miss me with that. So don't worry about your LDL. What you want to worry about is your LP little a. The reality is if your LDL is higher, what the studies show is that you probably are going to live longer and have lower all-cause mortality. I've got a study here. This was actually published in Denmark, one of the largest studies of its kind. And here's what it said. It said here that in this Denmark study, they did it for 10 years, about 100,000 people. That's a big sample size. LDLs of 140 to 160, which is considered stroke level by the medical community, showed the healthiest people, and they were living the longest. So you don't want to worry about your LDL, your ApoB. You want to worry about your LP little a. When you eat saturated fat, your LDL ApoB is going to go up. Your LP little a is going to go down. And now your cholesterol can be used for all the things that it needs to be used for. It's not the problem. A better test will be to run like, what's a fasted insulin look like? What's your hemoglobin A1C? What's your DHE to salivary cortisol ratios? What's your triglycerides to HDL? Don't let them fool you with this nonsense. So to answer her question is, that is what's going on. Your body's doing the right thing and you're getting healthier. Nobody can tell me and show me any research, unless you know about it, Dr. Rob, where replacing animal fats with seed oil is going to improve your health. It's going to make you big, fat, sick, depressed, inflamed, and at higher risk for everything you don't want. You don't have that study?
I don't have that study. That makes me laugh because it's not there.
It's not there.
And that right there just goes, so just on a bigger macroscopic level is that, when your body is not healthy, and one of the things that we see when people come to us is that their bodies are completely inflamed.
Yeah.
And that right there is going to be a bigger problem. That right there is a sign. And that's a sign that there's damage going on inside the body. That's a sign for all kinds of all the diseases that you don't want, which is why we focus so hard and so much on metabolism, because when your body is inflamed, your metabolism is not in a good place. When your metabolism is not in a good place, that's when you start having all kinds of things that you just don't want, whether it's diabetes or heart disease or Parkinson's or autoimmune disease, all these different conditions like that, those things that keep you from being able to do the things that you want to do. I know for myself, when I had all the inflammation and I gained all the weight, the only one thing that I did want to do is I wanted to be able to walk so that I could be able to take my daughter up the stairs, to be able to put her to bed at night, to be able to dance with her at her wedding as well. So I say that to say this is, when you have those kinds of things going on, it's not just about your weight. You really need to ask yourself, okay, why is it that I need to make a change in my health? Why do I need to do this? You better make that why bigger than yourself, because when your why is bigger than yourself, you will actually take action on your health and take the steps necessary in order to improve it. One of the action steps that you can take right now, if you have a question about how this is affecting you, is to go to metabolismscore.com, take the quiz, see where your metabolism is at. If your metabolism is not good, if your metabolism is not healthy, if your score is a 5 and above on that metabolism score, you need to take action. You need to do something about it. Don't wait to lose your health before you do something about that. Take the action steps now and don't wait. Heck, even just get into our metabolism masterclass. So with our masterclass that's coming up, we're going to go over how to heal your metabolism. It's not the same as our challenge, so we're going to do it in an hour, or maybe a little bit more, just depending on how long-winded we are. But I guarantee you that time will be well spent so that you can live a long, happy, healthier life.
Yeah, that's this Thursday, April 25th. We'll be going live 2 p.m. Central. So for those of you who want to really know more about how to work with us, heal your metabolism, or maybe you've got a friend or a family member that you're worried about, send them to the masterclass. Let Rob and I do all the heavy lifting and teach them what to do and how simple it can be. I'll close with this. It was interesting going back to the cholesterol thing. By the way, they need us to be scared of cholesterol. The fear of cholesterol keeps people heavily medicated. But there was a study done by a guy named Nick Norwitz, and I think we've spoken about this before, but he did a study where he started eating Oreos and did pre and post blood work. So he wanted to see how Oreos compared to doing high-intensity statins to lower cholesterol. And guess what lowered LDL cholesterol better than high-intensity statins? Oreo cookies. Oreo cookies will lower your LDL cholesterol because of the seed oil. Yet no doctor, nobody in the world would say eating Oreo cookies is making you healthier. Remember, the medical model will move everything down and reduce it to biomarkers. Look at these things in isolation and say, look, see, now you're healthy. Whether you chemically force it down or you eat Oreo cookies, don't worry about it. We got your LDL down. So don't be played a fool by the system. We love you guys. Dr. Rob, anything you want to say as we close and go into our VIP group here?
Yeah, that's not a permission to go eat Oreo cookies. That's what I'll say. And I'll put in the show notes. We'll make sure that we put in there how to get registered for that master class. We'll also put any other resources in order to be able to get in touch with us to ask questions. That's all going to be in the show notes, the resources. So make sure that you like it, share it,
yes,
comment, review. That helps us out tremendously to help more people. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Live happy, healthy.
Thanks for listening to the Happy Healthy Life podcast. If you enjoy the show, make sure to follow them on Instagram at the H2 Life or on YouTube and Facebook at the Happy Healthy Guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts.